Hi, I'm Giovanni Gonzalez, and welcome to Something New. In this episode, we are interviewing Mr. Rudy about the Medical Career Academies. Hi, Mr. Rudy.
How are you?
So, Mr. Rudy, can you give us a basic overlook of what the Medical Career Academy has to offer?
Sure. I'd say there's pretty much three aspects to it. The biggest thing is career exploration and a chance to kind of see what the medical field is really all about. So students get a chance to explore the different options that are out there. A lot of kids think doctors and nurses that's it, that's the medical field, and there's hundreds of different jobs in hospitals and outside. So it gives them a chance to really see what the field's all about, what some of the things are that they have to know about, think about, and do on a daily basis. The second piece, which is unique to us at the moment, but will grow with the other academies, is that it has connections in their core classes. So when they take biology, when they take English, when they take world history, there's connections in there to the medical field. So as they take those courses, they get a chance to read a little bit of a different book, for example, in English, or they get to explore a topic in world history through the lens of the medical history of the time, for example. And then the third piece I think that's important to recognize is that we have a community advisory board of medical professionals and people in the field that help us to stay on track with what we're doing, make sure what we're doing is preparing kids for what it is that they're going to need when they leave here and go into a program or begin to work. We want to make sure that we're offering the most appropriate education possible for kids, but make sure that we're giving them the skills and the background that they need.
I've heard that field trips and job shadowing play a big role in the academy. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would say that's huge. The field trips are experiences for kids to go and see different facilities as well as see different careers. We also have some trips that are just about exposure. So we went to the Bodies exhibit last year, which is pretty cool, but it gave kids a chance. There were a couple of kids who walked through that exhibit and said, you know what, I think I'm good, I think I'm cool. So as much as it's a chance for kids to see what's out there too, it's a chance for them to kind of figure out what is gonna work for me, is what I think I wanna do really what I wanna do. And those field trips are big for that. There's a trip to MCC, for example, where they get a chance to go through the different programs they have there. So they get a chance to do some hands-on things and think about those career fields. And then job shadowing to me is the most important. It's one of the pieces we added this year. And I think it's vitally important for a student to see what a day in the life is really all about. You can read on paper what it takes to do the job. You can think about the skills and know the stuff. But does that mean you can actually go through the stresses and the skills and the physical demands that a career takes on a daily basis?
Can you give us an example of a field trip you go on or went on in the past?
Yeah, I think one of the field trips we added this year, which in my opinion will be one that we do every year, was to St. Francis Hospital. They have a program called Let's Not Meet by Accident. So what it is a chance for the kids to go through the trauma center there, but it's done through the lens of distracted driving. So when we got there, they talked a bit about that. They got to see some footage of what happens in crashes when you have your seatbelt on, when you don't, but also then getting into that distracted driving. And then we got a chance to go across. We went into the actual trauma room and saw the equipment, talked to the nurses that work there. They kind of went through a little bit of a simulation. Here's the tube that goes in your chest if you need suction. Here's this, here's that. They had a chance to go up to LifeStar. They have a chance to talk to the crew, what that's all about, and really think about the equipment that's on there and the specialties that are there. They had a chance to hear from a parent of a son who had a son that was killed in an accident by a distracted driver. So that was incredibly powerful. There wasn't a single dry eye in the room. And then one of the trauma nurses came over and talked to them and kind of took them through from the moment of that accident right through the moment that they leave that trauma center, what's happening to them, what's going to go through their bodies, through their minds, through their experiences in that circumstance. So it was really, really powerful. It was another career exposure, but also a pertinent topic to kids. So it was one I think that had a lot of good aspects that, like I said, I hope we can do every year.
How do you think this academy can help kids now choose their career path?
I think the sophomore course that we have, the Investigations in Health Careers course, is the best piece of that, and that gives kids a chance to learn a little bit about themselves. So there's some career inventories, there's some personality inventories. What are my strengths? What am I good at? What do I like to do? And then start to learn about the careers. There's speakers that come in throughout the entire year from various different fields. The teacher for that course, Ms. Lambert, has been incredibly creative about getting people in from very different areas too. She had a person come in with a cadaver dog that they use to sniff out, bodies and things like that. She's had people come in that do prosthetics, so they really get a chance to see what different kinds of careers are out there, and then start to match the two together. So, if I'm not really a people person, I think I need to be looking at careers that aren't going to put me in front of a patient all the time. But there's tons and tons of careers still that are available. So really getting kids to think about those kinds of things, and then starting to have the conversation about, okay, this is what I want to do. Well, how is what I'm doing right now going to help me get there, or do I need to make some changes?
Yeah. Well, how has this academy developed over the years?
The most important thing, I think, is that my design for this is to grow with the kids and with their interests. So one of the most important things that they do is create a career exploration project as their midterm grade in that sophomore class. And based on that, not that I expect kids, or anyone for that matter, to be locked into a career at that point in your life, but it certainly gives us an idea of where your interests lie. And then we've begun to develop some individual semester courses mostly that start to gear towards those interests. So there's a sports medicine class now because we had a lot of kids interested in athletic training, physical therapy, occupational therapy, so we wanted to offer them something that was going to help build those skills and those experiences. We're putting together a CNA class. We have a lot of girls, or guys too, interested in nursing. We are developing a veterinary science class. We know we have a lot of kids interested in that area. So that's been one of the more important pieces. And then the one thing that was asked for last year when we talked to students was more connections in those core classes. So we've really worked hard at that. The teachers have done amazing things. They're so creative with the connections they make. So you remember that writing and science. Oh yeah, that's that thing I learned about in English class too, that I should probably remember when I'm here. And very similar topics. When we started talking to each other as teachers, the topics that you cover and the overlap there. So there's been a lot of cool opportunities for kids to go, oh yeah, we talked about that in history class, and now we're going to build on it here in biology, for example. So those two things, I think, are two of the more important pieces that have grown in the couple of years that we've been here.
Well, that's all the time we have this episode of Something New. Thanks for coming, Mr. Rudy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.